Hey YouTube, I forgot to click record. I've done the entire intro by now, so you've actually missed that for this week, or this for this stream. Suffice to say, we're just doing ranger stuff. Psionic rangers who scavenge. That's the kind of core narrative of the subclass. Let us continue. So, with all of that preamble out of the way for Twitch, and YouTube's like, what are they talking about? Obviously, the way the subclass differs is they have some minor psionic ability, and they can scavenge. So immediately go with bonus cantrip. And scavenger. As is my wont, I'm going to make a note of what these mean as I go, just so that I do not forget. So that's Mage Hand. So obviously, when you're scavenging body parts and stuff from the environment, I guess. Certainly, for the way it works in my head, you'll be going for defense first. You should already have weapons, so you shouldn't need weapons, but anything that helps you survive, especially hunting intelligent prey, is probably going to be first and foremost on your mind. So let's say defense boosting consumables for now. Not traditional consumables. I have ideas, and you'll see what I mean by that. But for now, defense boosting consumables. I actually need to check something in the SRD for actually spell progression for the ranger. It would also help if I'm on the ranger's page anyway. So that's sorcerer, so that's not too bad. If anyone's curious, page 45 of the SRD is the sorcerer. Spell progression for the ranger. Do you have second level spells at level 5? At level 7, sorry. You do! Excellent. So, bonus spell. And let's call this improved scavenging. Improved. I do that a lot. You would not believe how often I do that. I mean, you would. Long-term viewers / listeners would totally believe how often I type improved instead of improved. Or just make typos in general, really. But you try typing while talking while people are watching you. Although, not anyone. According to Twitch, anyway, no one's currently watching. Okay, so that's the basics done. So bonus spell is detect thoughts. And then improved scavenging is offense boosting consumables. Mostly because once you've got your defenses sorted, with further practice, you then yeah, I can deal with this. Now I'm going to start modifying weaponry or distilling potions and things like that. That's my thinking, anyway. Obviously, some people might opt for improving weaponry and poisons and stuff first, and then defense is secondary. But this is my subclass, and I'm writing it. So, yeah. Although it should be written in such a way that if you want to swap scavenger and improve scavenging, you can. I might also reword improved scavenging. But for now, it's good enough. Actually, I should reword it. Illumin's Guide to Ghostbite gives all rangers of class bonus spells a little bit like Stand. Sorry if I want to go that route. I thought about it, and thank you for letting me know, because I have yet to pick up Yugman's. My main thing there is it takes me an inordinate amount of time to determine bonus spells. I mean, I know Mage Hand and Detect Thoughts. I might give an extra cantrip and spell based on the ones available to the Scare Eye. But thank you for letting me know. And if between finishing this on stream and actual release, because I do go through, I do proof it, I do tweak mechanics. I feel like something is missing, I will probably go that route. But the Scarai do have psionic spells anyway, so I probably just use those if they're of a level that the ranger would be able to cast. Where is it? There it is. Although I could, of course, give them a spell from the Frostlands book, because you'd presumably be using the Frostlands book. Also, I really want to play any game where I get to use Rupture. Anyway, I don't have deep-seated issues about clerics rupturing skulls. Hopefully it's good. Yeah, I'm going to use spells here. That has reminded me, however, thank you, I do need to sort out my Xanathar's reference chapter. So those of you who don't know, who have not been here before, or I think it's been a while since I mentioned it, when I do this shows, when I do these shows, I have the PDF of the rulebook open for whatever game I'm using for obvious reasons. But I also have a couple of other, for this, I have a couple of other books open. So I have the SRD, so I can reference wording and mechanics that are kind of fair game, sorry. I have the Scarred Lands Player's Guide, because that's the lore and stuff. I have the Frostlands of Fenrilik book for the specific lore. And for this, and like any other 5e thing, which is largely just this game actually, because Pugmire alters 5e. I also have the Xanathar's Guide to Everything supplement open. I do not take anything from it, but it's a really good supplement for looking at how subclasses progress. It's never explained anywhere, but there are kind of general trends within each level of a subclass that you can, because Xanathar's has like 3 subclasses for each, 2 or 3 for each class. You can kind of read them one after the other and generally pick up kind of a rough trend. So like, for example, the 3rd level ranger subclasses do get bonus spells. They get 1 spell for each spell slot level when they hit certain levels. But they also gain... Sorry, 1 second. Unlike a lot of classes, a lot of these 3rd level ranger features actually kind of read more like feats. They you could apply these to any other class. They're not terribly how to phrase this, like specific in a way. It's hard to describe. I know what I mean, but I'm struggling to describe it. So you'll have to take my word for it. Let's say that. But because obviously the ranger has such a connection to terrain and environments, their subclasses are reasonably, with a couple of exceptions, like extremely focused. Whereas like hang on, can I even mention this? I can. I'm not reproducing it. The champion archetype of the fighter is pretty vague. I mean, it's just someone who is going for like physical perfection. The battle master's pretty vague because there's just so many options for it. Whereas the ranger's like super laser focused on one aspect of hunting or tracking or scouting. So that's what we're doing here, obviously. Okay, so 11th level features. See if we can identify a trend with the 11th level features. So what have we got? We've got a teleport, which is pretty nice. Single-use counterspell. and extra attack. So again, because it's so focused, it's more like thematic of the subclass rather than general. It's not also really building on any of the previous features, but this is where, because I've got the solid foundation of the bonus spells and the scavenging, which I'm going to rename this Harvest Prey. Here's where I'll bring in something like a new mechanic that isn't referencing an old, isn't building upon something that's already in the subclass. Also, I should note, this is very unusual to have two features here. So in all likelihood, I will combine bonus spells. I'll do like the bonus spells bit here, and just say like you also know the whatever cantrip. But it won't be exactly the same. It won't be like, here's one spell for level 1 slots, one spell for level 2 slots. It'll be like 2 spells maybe that you do not need spell components for, because they're psionic rather than magical. Although it still obviously uses the magic system. Yes, I'll do that actually. Because cantrips are also technically spells, so. And I know how to word that, so that's fine. See, I talked myself into Alan's recommendation. Detect thoughts. I will add a third spell as well. Maybe Unseen Servant. We'll see. So Harvest Prey, Harvest Predator. So what else does the narrative reference? Low-level psionic abilities, arms and armor from the bodies of animals and monsters that fall under the weapons or are lost to the elements. So kind of that. At this point, there's two things I can see to do. One, can do like an improved harvesting thing, so defense boosting, offense boosting, and then like improved harvesting where you just get a better numerical bonus. Thematic references kind of developing experience, but seems kind of lacking. It also focuses a little too much on that aspect, although obviously as I said, the subclasses do, for the rangers, do laser focus, so I could go that route. What I'm thinking I might do is actually build on the psionic, on the psionic side of things. So that there's like an equal focus. What was this? So by the time you've reached 11th level, you've practiced your like physical skills in a way, and by practicing that and by learning kind of how by learning the skills of the subclass, you know, the character has managed to hone their psionic abilities as well. Whoops. So the obvious, I see three routes here. I can see, I'm gonna have to move the webcam so I can lean properly. I can see 3 routes. I can see advantage on wisdom and intelligence saving, like wisdom, intelligence, and charisma saving throws to represent psionic fortitude. I can see like a ranged attack that does psychic damage. Sorry, 4 routes. Telepathy is the obvious one, like a limited form of telepathy, or like a pool of dice that you can spend on certain actions. A la the psionic subclasses from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. I kind of want to stay away from that last one because it's been done. Admittedly not for Scarred Lands, but equally I wasn't terribly impressed with how they implemented psionics. But I liked the hero variety of things you can do with it, but it's just I didn't like the dice pool system. It was a like out of nowhere limiting mechanic. I guess it's kind of reminiscent of the Battle Masters of the maneuvers, but I don't. Personal stylistic choices, shall we say? So, when stuck like this, if you are doing something focused on like a creature or a like specific plane of magic or something like that, there's no shame in going back to like the creature or the plane or the school of magic and checking what other things it does. So in this instance, Scarai Implant, Scarai have the innate spellcasting, which they do have a Mind Blast feature, which is a 60-foot cone. Obviously, probably not going to give a player character a 60-foot cone. So that's an option. Okay, that's a good option, and it does tie it in with the Scarai. However, I will be doing that with the Warlock, and this is a hunter of the Scarai, not someone who uses their. This is just someone who has psionic abilities because of what they do, rather than because of any direct relation to the Scarai. So, from a Mind Blast that stuns enemies or creatures, I should say. I guess the opposite is a shield. Could do the shield spell. But like you can apply it to saving throws as well as attack rolls. I'm just going to check Scarred Land spells because I don't make anywhere near enough use of Scarred Land spells, even though I can. See if any of these seem useful. Well, there we go. Aegis, second level spell. Replicates the effects of the shield spell and also gives you advantage on saving throws against magical effects. Boom. Done. Scarred Land spell also, which is useful. Also, probably gives some, as I say, some telepathy there. So, in fact, let's rename this to Trained Mind. Is there anything else while I'm here? That's a bit high level. What I might do, because I liked the idea of a psychic attack, and it's like Trained Mind. You train to communicate, train to defend, and oh wait though, because I could do that as like the caps as the 15th level feature, a psychic attack. What proficiencies does the ranger get? Strength and dexterity. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, let's go with Perfected Mind. Now, the problem I've got is that this is a really late level to get telepathy. I'd like to put the saving throws here. Wisdom save, prof. Maybe step away from the telepathy. Yeah, I think we'll step away from the telepathy. But Perfected Mind, give them like a... Is there any... Where is it? Where's the Scardlands book? I had an idea. Let's see if this works. Where is it? Where's that spell? Oh, it's not what I thought it was. I misread the spell name. Curse me! Curse me reading swiftly. Okay, that's fine. Oh, that's the wrong button. Okay, that's not going to work. So, again, we've got the defense side of things, and then the 15th level ranger feature. I think we just go for a defensive option. Because bonus spells gives you utility. Harvest Prey and Harvest Predator are both more of a utility thing. They don't actually apply in combat. Trained Mind is adding to your defenses. And then Perfected Mind being level 15 feature. I feel like an attack would be good. So there's two ways we can do this. Could do it as in you use your psionic abilities to improve your base attacks, or you can just attack with the power of your mind, do psychic damage. I can see arguments for either way. My main reaction, as this is not a magic, like, because the ranger is a hybrid class, my gut instinct is that we use the ranger's own weapons and not a psychic attack. No, Sebadios, I'm glad that we agree, we are aligned on this. So referencing Tasha's Cauldron again. Tasha's Cauldron took the approach that you could kind of psychically empower your attacks with a d6, an extra d6 of damage, and then that was the dice pool system, or one example of its use anyway. Again, I wasn't a big fan of the dice pool system. I can see why they did it. I just stylistically, it's not my thing. I'm more tempted to just say you can do this like X number of times per long rest. First use free or something. Because the ranger uses wisdom as their spellcasting ability, so we can tie everything into wisdom, to the wisdom modifier, and at 15th level it should be reasonably good. It should be reasonably high. Okay, so for improving the base attack, we've got, again, two options. About three options, I guess. Option one, the psionic ability somehow improves the attack roll. Maybe you can distract them with mild hallucinations or sensations. Option two is you improve the damage roll. You use your psionic ability to push the weapon faster to make it, cut deeper or whatever. And then option 3 is either like an extra attack because you psychically echo the main attack, and that's a focus, and then you replicate it, or we have some sort of increased range, or an area of effect to the weapon as like a psychic shockwave erupts when it impacts. That last one does seem stretching it, I will admit. I don't want to just go, you get a flat plus whatever bonus to attack rolls or damage rolls. That seems overly simplistic and kind of, while mechanically it's serviceable, narratively it doesn't feel right to me to do that. So, Okay, I don't know how this has worked, but I'll talk it through. So, using their psionic ability, the ranger kind of about lowering the AC. Yeah, I've been messing around with lowering DCs of checks for another community content thing for like a group community content project I'm in. And that's actually one idea I was just about to mention. So using their psionic ability, the ranger can like inflict visions of the pain about to come or horror or something onto the target, which distracts them so that the attack hits easier, maybe. So like they could lower their AC. Another option is they have to make a wisdom save. Let's say wisdom for sake of argument. They have to make a wisdom save or intelligence save. And if they fail, they are, I don't know, like stunned until the end of the next turn, or until the start of the ranger's next turn. Maybe take an extra amount of psychic damage, but if they pass, their AC is lowered, and they take a smaller amount of psychic damage. I kind of like that. Especially at 15th level, you shouldn't be doing a if they pass, nothing happens kind of thing. So, let's see. I'll say whiz save for now, but I can change that obviously. Whiz save, fail, stun, and let's say... Okay, for extra damage, we also do have to consider how often this feature can be used. It shouldn't be every turn, because being able to stun every turn is absurd. We could just say short rest. Let's say stun and 2d8 psychic damage. Minus 2 AC and half on success. After successfully using it, the target is immune to its effect for X turns. Oh, I like that. I do like that. Conventional writing from the game is usually... Well, the game usually is... yeah, it does prevent stunlock. The game wording is usually... on a success, this creature is immune to the effects for 24 hours. To prevent that kind of thing. could go with that. If I were to, I can't think off the top of my head of any example where it's less than 24 hours. No, I can't think of one. I mean, admittedly, of course, if we relegated this to wisdom modifier uses per long rest, then the stun lock isn't the concern because you'll run out eventually. Also, the creature will be immune from the effects of this ability regardless of user for time frame. Yeah, it's worded. What is it? It's usually immune to the effects of this feature, which I've always taken to mean like the name of the of this ability. Sorry, which I've always taken to mean that ability, no matter what source. Obviously, your interpretation of the rules may differ, but it does prevent stun locks and things like that. Okay, thought. Have this as a you can do one of two things with this feature. So wisdom save. Immune to effects for 24 hours. Let's say immune to this effect. Or, I guess just an extra proficiency bonus at this level's 5, right? Where is my SRD? There it is. Yeah, it's 5. Speaking of stun locks, given that Scarrai can stun lock, could it be interesting for this subclass to have something to get out of it? I mean, they can. You're right. Yeah, with the Mind Blast. Stunned for 2d4 rounds. And that's not a magical effect, actually, either, thinking about it. So Aegis wouldn't actually apply against that. Which was kind of my hope, but that's not a magical effect. As I said, it is an action, it is not a spell. Well, the obvious answer there. Thank you for pointing that out, Alan. The obvious answer there is rather than wisdom save proficiency, just give advantage on wisdom saves. I'm always a bit hesitant. Like, I'm always kind of, when I'm doing things like this, I'm always going backwards and forwards between give proficiency and give advantage. Proficiency is more consistent. Advantage allows you to hit those extremes more easily, but equally sometimes you'll roll two very low numbers. Also, as proficiency is related to experience, with a feature called Trained Mind, it seems to make more sense. So that will help with the thing. Of course, the other way to do it would be if to have. Oh, I can't off the top of my head. I can't think of the wording, but it would be something along the lines of you reduce all stun durations by 1 round, minimum of 1 round, which would help with the Scarrai thing, which is a range of 2 to 4 rounds, majority being 2 to 8 rounds. Sorry, majority being 5. God, can you imagine being stunned for 5 rounds? It'd be worse than no, that wouldn't be worse than the confusion spell, but it'd be up there. Anyway, that's my. I hate the confusion spell so much. It's a terrible execution of a cool idea. Anyway, I was going to add extra damage. Is that you can use this aspect of the feature or this aspect of the feature. but change the rider. Just move where the rider is in the feature. So on a failure, nope. On a failure, creature is stunned, takes 2d8 psychic damage. Probably stunned for 1 round, and is immune. And for the next 24 hours, can't automatically succeeds the saving throw or something, so that you can stun it and do that extra damage once, and then after that, it's got a lowered AC and takes, takes half of the damage automatically. I'd probably give this a duration of more than a round then. Might give it a concentration. I mean, obviously this is just the note forms anyway, but I'd like to, in case it does take more than 45 minutes to get through everything else, I'd like to have my notes as comprehensive as possible. So what about if this is a concentration effect and it lingers for as long as you maintain concentration on it? And whilst they can save out of the stun, they do still take the 2d8 psychic damage at a fixed point, probably start of their turn, whilst the effect is active. And then if they save out of the stun, they go down to the -2 AC instead. I kind of like that. What do people think? Give it a duration of a minute, most likely. Woo, people are praising me. Wisdom save proficiency. I guess, yeah. I'm just thinking. With the, as this is all about psionic stuff and the power of the mind, I could give it an extra 3rd level feature. To reduce stun duration. And we could then do it by an amount equal to half proficiency bonus or half wisdom ability modifier, minimum of 1 still, because that will go up in theory as the character levels. And this is just a stylistic thing. I like having things that evolve with the character rather than having a flat bonus or penalty. We've got trained, we've got protected, let's say shielded. This means I'm going to have to make another table up. The one downside I have with tables, so this goes to formatting. The narrative needs to match the effect. Oh yeah. That's my entire thing. This speaks to formatting. I talk about formatting occasionally, so feel free to tune out for the next 10 seconds. Usually I mention the using correct headings, which if you work like I do, Google Docs, and then import into a Word doc, headings are fine. If you've got them in the Google Doc, they help with document navigation, and they do actually transfer over as headings into a Word doc or document if you prefer. You do have to alter the font and everything because it just copies the font, and I think if you copy paste without formatting, it'll remove the headings. Copying tables from Google Docs into Word documents, especially if you're not if you do like a 2-column page like I do for my official releases, it's terrible. Don't do it. You are much better off just making the table in Microsoft Word and copying the data into it. Yeah, data's plural. Just a heads up if you're considering writing community content in this way. If I don't ordinarily start, I should point out, I don't write community content in Google Docs as a matter of course. If it's for personal projects, I go straight to Microsoft Word, but it's just easier for me to capture this, so hence why I capture and write in Google Docs. Also, it means that if at any point I do want to share material with the community, obviously with Onyx Path's permission, I can be like, hey, here's a link to the document, go crazy looking at it. And I have been starting to think about ways to do that. If I did that, I'm not saying I will. If I did do that, I would not charge for that product because everyone would have had access to it and would have been able to see it and make comments. Like survey comments, I guess. But I'm not saying I'm going to do that. I'm just trying to think of ways I can open this shop to more of the community. Because I know not everyone watches on Twitch or YouTube. Because people don't necessarily like this content delivery format. So just trying to think of other ways to engage like the Twitch's community with the show in ways that may not necessarily be open to an actual play, but because this isn't an actual play. Anyway, just thoughts. So, I just copy this table up here, actually. Obviously, I need to reword some of the stuff, but as paladins are also a half-caster, they should, in theory, get spells at those levels. Let's check Xanathars to confirm. 3, 5, 9, 13, and 7. Excellent. Obviously, they do not get these spells because these are paladin spells. I'm not saying all of the spells that the ranger gets will be ranger spells. I also need to copy the text. Control C. And then what was it? Wow. So that's copying with formatting. That's copying without formatting. Great. This is the Scarai Hunter. Oops. Sorry, I'm trying to focus on this so it goes quickly. As shown in the Scarai Hunter spells table. Space. I do like expanded spell lists though. Side note, because they are largely tied to, Divine, Arcane, Primal, and then what I have assigned arbitrarily the name Eldritch to for Warlocks because they get much thematically darker spells. Does allow you to alter the narrative of the class. That's got a double space for some reason. There we go. That should read Ranger level. Okay, so I need a vaguely psionic compatible first level spell. That's possible. Oh, well, Force Blast becomes an option then. Comprehend language? Ooh. Comprehend languages or Force Blast? I can see arguments for both. Detect Thoughts is a second level spell. That's going in there. I guess the question comes down to utility or offensive or damage. Are any in Frostlands of Fenrilik? I don't think so, because these are all like elemental spells, because for obvious reasons. Although I might add Rupture to the 5th level spell slots. Choose one but not both. Depends on the type of character you want. Yeah, that's the thing. If you can detect thoughts, you don't need to comprehend languages. Comprehend languages does let you read, though, as well. You do not need material components for any of the spells granted by this feature. Oh, I do also need to add Mage Hand here. Would I add it to the table, or would I just have it like above the table? I think I'd have it above the table. You also know the... Oops. Mage Hand cantrip, and... I'm just going to take the wording from a different book. Trying to think where I put the book on my hard drive. And by PDFs, I feel like I want to point out, I don't share anything, and they're pictures that I've taken of my own books that just to stop me flicking through. It took a long time, trust me, but of like taking pictures and then compiling them. I do not share them anywhere. No one's ever going to see them apart from me, but it's just way easier than me looking at a book on screen, on camera. Anyway. It's one of those things you're like, I've got the book. I'll use it, and then I tried experimenting with using physical books, like just privately, like as like test runs, and it didn't work because I was just looking down, and I tried to do everything on my top monitor so I can be looking vaguely at the webcam anyway. Anyway. Although I realize in hindsight, as I own Xanathars on D&D Beyond, I don't need to do that anymore. All those hours of work. Having a complete mind blank. There it is. Which is funny, considering we're doing a Psionic class. I just need to check the wording on something. But, like, there's an existing wording, so I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. Where is it? Come on, people are sort of listening. I have to be mildly entertaining. Scroll faster. please. What? Where? Oh, there. Okay. And it is invisible when cast with this trait, with this feature. There we go. I really wish that Wizards would be better with PDF support. Mostly to have saved all the time. But there we go. Yes. I feel like I have to reiterate to cover my own back that no one is ever going to see these, and if there were actual PDFs I could buy, I would. I really would. It makes doing things like this a lot easier, because I can just Control F. I mean, obviously I can't, because they're pictures of pages, but anyway. So I'm so happy that Onyx Path do provide incredible PDF support. Anyway, also in the Mage-Hand cantrip is visible cast with this feature. I still need a 3rd and a 4th level spell, and I still need to decide whether Force Blast or Comprehend Languages. I am going with leaning towards Comprehend Languages just for the utility side of things. I don't think... Well, there we go. We go with Comprehend Languages for the first level spell. The trouble... my issue here is the reading. How does that work sonically speaking? But that's a problem for another person. This does need capitalizing. Right, 3rd level psionic compatible spell. I forgot to make a note of the page number. Oh dear. Right, spell list. I guess Wizard, most of the psionic compatible spells would appear to be arcane spells. Or like psionically thematic spells anyway. And the Wizard just has the largest spell list. No other reason, no other thing. No other reasoning. Phantom Steed is in the SRD, and I do kind of like the image of a psychic horse. Ascending would make more sense, but I like the idea of just riding an invisible horse. Not sure what the UK laws are, but if you own a physical copy, you can create a digital copy which is not shared for archival purposes. I believe that's the same here. Which is why I just wanted to say, like, I'm not sharing it, I'm not planning on sharing it. I think that is the same here. Obviously, if I discover that that is not the case, I will delete my archive. But just having... Yeah, anyway. As much as I want to put Phantom Steed, I think sending is better. I know, I've let you all down. I'm horrible. I'm a terrible streamer. Like, worst community content creator of all time. And it's Fenrilic, so the Phantom Steed is made of ice. That's true. That is true. I feel like I might add a couple of bonus spells to this. I don't know if I do it on stream. I might. And have one of them just be Ice Steed. There we go. I won't forget now. It's a player option. I might even do a couple of magic items. Who knows? You all realise that the more stuff I put in this document, the more I'm charging for it, right? I mean, when it was just the player, the two races and the subclasses, I was like, 250 is fine. The more stuff I put in it, the more that price is likely to go up. So be wary of suggestions and ideas you give me. Okay, also, this is pretty easy. I had a good idea for this. Beginning at 3rd level, you can harvest certain body parts from creatures you kill. If a creature possesses natural armor, may skin it over the course of a long rest. Of a short rest, sorry. And prepare its hide over the course of a long rest. When you do so, you gain one of the following benefits. Okay, so I'll do the bullet points later. If the creature had scales, gain a number of temporary hit points equal to hang on 1 second, just need to blow my nose. And I'm back. Gosh, how to phrase this? You get a number of temporary hit points equal to the maximum value of its hit die multiplied by your proficiency bonus. I'm going to reword this as well. When you do so, you may make a cloak that grants one of the following benefits. When these temporary hit points consumed? Consumed is the wrong word. Charged by a feature or break the document up into different purchasable downloads. For example, each has to be a different purchasable item with lower cost. I don't know. I don't like charging for my work anyway. So I'm much more like, here is this one thing for way less than it's probably actually worth. I don't value my skills. Is what it comes down to. And I know that I don't, but equally, like, I don't want to gatekeep people from the hobby. And also right now with stuff happening, I'm just relying on people buying the content at the minute. Anyway, when these reduce to 0 doesn't really make sense. Oh, what's the wording on Player's Handbook's right here. Armor of Agathis does a similar effect, so I may as well just check the wording on that. I do not believe Armor of Agathis is in the SRD because it mentions a character. Oh, that doesn't help in any way, shape, or form, actually. Great, wonderful. Cloak is destroyed when you run out of when you run out of temporary hit points, or these temporary hit points, I should say. If the creature had hide, your AC increases by a number equal to half your proficiency bonus, a minimum of 1. But your speed is, I'm going to say base walking speed. Because you're wearing like a decently heavy cloak that is not a magical item. So it is going to slow you down slightly. My other option was, rather than lower walking speed, and obviously chat, feel free to say if you prefer this, rather than lower walking speed by 5 feet, you suffer a penalty to attack rolls equal to the bonus to your AC. Going to specify non-magical for complete clarity. I might. We could get really. Depends on the harvested natural armor restriction movement or not. Well, I say the idea is that because it's increasing your AC, you've cured it, but you haven't cured it properly, so it's going to be really stiff and unyielding. Sorry, there we go. Oh, that should be successes. So, creature at scales, you gain a number of temporary hit points equal to the maximum of its hit die multiplied by your proficiency bonus. I hope that people... Should I clarify hit die? Because I know in common parlance, die is swiftly being replaced with dice as the singular. And I know I'm a pedant and prescriptivism is bad. And I'm trying to get over that. So I don't know if I should clarify one of its hit die. Although at this point, MS armor doesn't restrict movement all that much. Mobility was favoured over the added protection. Yes, but most armor isn't created over the course of 2 hours. It takes much longer to get the flexible leather or whatnot. This is rough and ready. I'm going to go with maximum of one of its. Just to be perfectly clear. Again, like, it's me being... it's not, technically speaking. But I'm tired and I can't get over the pedantry when I'm tired as easily as when I'm not. So, Google correct, you can respectfully take your suggestion elsewhere. What was I going to say? Yes, D&D treats armor as like heavier armors give you disadvantage on stealth checks, but that's more based on noise. And if you aren't if you don't have the strength requirement, they do lower your speed. I believe it is. Yeah, so heavier armors have a strength requirement that if you don't meet, your speed is reduced by 10 feet unless you're a dwarf. And then they do also give you disadvantage on stealth checks. But because it's just like really, really quickly cured hide, I don't want it to be that punishing. Yeah, let's say it just restricts movement. It's not going to be terribly heavy. For most hides, it wouldn't be terribly heavy anyway. But your attack rolls suffer a penalty equal to the AC bonus. Equal to this number, to this value? Let's just say AC bonus for now. I'm a bit tired to be thinking about specific wording. So that's that. Do I make these fixable with the mending spell? I could, theoretically. Once destroyed, these cloaks may only be repaired magically. And rangers don't get mending, so they'll have to, you know, make more cloaks. And I can say that with confidence because rangers don't get cantrips. I don't know why I laughed. I do apologize. And from 3rd level, Mind is capable of throwing off some deleterious effects. Whenever you are stunned, the duration of the stun, duration of the condition is lessened by a number of rounds equal to your wisdom modifier. A minimum of 1. I think that does what we want it to do. Also, may only have a number of cloaks made equal to your proficiency bonus at any time. That is horrible wording. I only have a number of undestroyed cloaks equal to your proficiency bonus at any time. Is that better? Also, I guess each cloak can be sold for 25 gold pieces. Like, they're not... actually... I'm going to reword that so it's not a multiplication sign, but half your proficiency bonus. Minimum of 1. Each cloak can be sold for a value... Each cloak can be sold for a number of gold pieces equal to 25 multiplied by half your proficiency bonus, minimum of 1, at which point the sold cloak no longer counts towards your limit unless you later buy it back. Let's say unless it later enters the party's possession. At which point it does. That should be clear, right? Each cloak can be sold for a number of gold pieces equal to 25 multiplied by half your proficiency bonus, minimum of 1, at which point the sold cloak no longer counts towards your limit unless it later enters the party's possession. Again. At the time of creation. Not selling basic cloaks for 75 gold. Okay, whenever you're stunned, the duration of the condition is lessened by a number of rounds equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum of 1. Yes, that kind of does what it says on the tin, mostly because if you're going to be stunned for longer than a measurement of rounds, it's not going to pay off that easily. Right, so this is 5th level? 7th level. 7th level, you are able to augment your weapons, natural weapons of your foes. I'm just going to copy the text here. Except replace hide and natural armor with weapons and whatnot. Right, so if a creature possesses natural weapons, and I'm just going to check something. That's the wrong page. There we go. I guess natural weapons would be up to the GM's discretion because the Scaroi have a sting, but they also use spears. But like, I'd say that the sting is a natural weapon. Anyway, you may recover them. Oh, I also need to clarify like scales / chitin or equivalent. Over the course of a short rest, and prepare them over the course of a long rest. When you do so, you may create an augmentation that grants one of the following non-magical properties. The weapon / ammunition deals and... Now imagine traveling range wearing a crab carapace, terribly amusing. I mean, I'd love to do that. Be a crab ranger. Why wouldn't you do that? It's like a breastplate. It's great. Hmm. You know what? Let's do that. You may make a cloak or breastplate. That requires no armor proficiency to wear. I mean, obviously, this gets a bit weird if you're killing, like, a mouse for whatever purpose, but hopefully people would be taking it in the spirit of the subclass and not the literal interpretation. Trust the GM? I have to. You know what? Let's bit medium or larger creature. There we go. That's that fixed. Deals an additional amount of piercing or slashing damage. Oh, even better. An additional amount of damage. Of the same type it originally dealt. A creature at least as large as you? Yes, that would be better for small player characters. Just in case someone's running a mass campaign, that's fair. If a creature your size or larger. I mean, technically, like, the natural armor specification doesn't have to be there because you could just skin people and make a cloak out of skins, but you know, who knows? I might remove that. Equal to 1 roll of that creature's hit die. Again, I'm going to be painfully clear about this. Equals to roll of 1 of that creature's hit die. Creature's hit dice, sorry. That means that this is technically hit dice up here because I've specified one of them. Where'd Jay go? I don't know. Have you seen him late? No, but you seem to have located him. Man, that hood looks really realistic. Where'd you get it from? If the natural weapon dealt any poison damage, you know what? I'm just going to keep the same wording. Weapon. Looks like I'm not going to do this subclass today. I do apologize. I should perhaps have phoned it in. I'm very tired, but I wanted to do something. So there we go. The weapon / ammunition gains the benefit of any secondary effects of the original weapon, e.g. poison damage, for its next attack roll. Oh, nope. For a number of attack rolls equal to your proficiency bonus. This bonus lasts until... I guess you hit with a critical success. How to phrase this? It is also critical hits, not successes. This bonus lasts until you roll number of critical hits equal to your proficiency bonus +1. I also do need to reword these to this weapon's wielder. Or this weapon strikes a number of critical hits. There we go. The ammunition bit gets a bit weird, as most people don't use the ammunition rules, but I'm happy for that to be a thing, like you just get them back. Now that would be your... Do we need an extra bonus? I don't think we do. I don't think these things could be sold either, because they're more just kind of you're bolting stuff onto the weapon or ammunition rather than like making an item. Also, there really aren't that many things you can do with natural weapons, like extra damage, extra effect. I think that's really it. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, it is nearly 10 to 4, so rather than continuing on, I'm going to end things here and do my outro, I think, so that I can get the post-roll running. So I do apologize. Today's been a bit of a weird stream. As I say, perhaps should not have streamed. I didn't quite realize how tired I was. I'm going to go and get some food and see if that makes me feel any better. If you do want to watch, like if you've caught the end of the stream, one, thank you for tuning in, and two, you will have to wait if you are not a subscriber on the Twitch channel, you'll have to wait a week to watch this as video on demand on Twitch before it's deleted or before it goes up on my YouTube channel. If you are a subscriber or if you have a Prime Gaming account, or if you have an Amazon Prime account that you have not yet linked to your Twitch account, you can do so to get a Prime Gaming account. Prime Gaming gives you one free subscription a month. It's all of the like back-end stuff. So Onyx Path gets the same benefit of you just buying a subscription if you use a free subscription. You get all the same benefits. You get the emotes, you get the channel point increase, you get the ability to watch these videos for a week before non-subscribers. If you do have any like lingering questions or thoughts or feedback, as I say, I'm going to get some food now, see if that helps me feel any better. I'm going to try and stream on my channel, twitch.tv/ComradeBubbles, where you can talk to me in real time with a 20-second delay. Or I am available on Twitter as @ComradeBubbles. And I also lurk on the Discord, occasionally responding to messages. Where I feel I can add something to the conversation. But as is my want, again, if you're ever interested in kind of the status of Onyx Path projects, the Monday meeting notes are the way to go. They go up on like Monday evenings, I guess, American EST, I guess. But for me, it's Tuesday mornings I read them. The big thing right now is that there is just over 2 days left in the Scion Dragon and Scion Masks of the Mythos Kickstarter. Whole load of stretch goals of like companions, virtual tabletop resources, t-shirts, pre-generated characters, legacy characters for the Masks of the Mythos. So who knows if we'll get Howard Carter. I just picked a random character. Randolph Carter even. Upton. Upton would be cool. No, Howard Carter then like Randolph Upton, Rudolph Upton. Anyway, my Lovecraft is lacking. It's been a while since I read it, and again, I'm tired. Loads of cool stretch goals with more being announced, I think. Also, a salient point: the next crowdfund Terrible Old Man, Creature in the Cave. The next, I just want Dreamlands in my Scion. That's all I want. I'm a very simple gamer. The next crowdfunding project Onyx Path will be doing is Mage 20th Anniversary Edition, Mage the Ascension 20th Anniversary Edition's Victorian Age. That will be on Indiegogo as opposed to Kickstarter. The Monday meeting notes goes into why. Yeah, the Cats of Ulthar is what I want to see in my Scion, I'll be honest. That it doesn't even have to be the entire Dreamlands, just Ulthar and the Plateau of Leng, and I'll be happy. Also, of kind of more immediate interest, if Scion doesn't do it for you, this weekend, the 19th, 20th, and 21st, Gehenna Gaming are running their second virtual HorrorCon on Twitch, and the Onyx Path are heavily involved in that, and like several of their freelancers are doing panels and workshops, and the whole timetable is on the Monday meeting notes. I mentioned the Kickstarter and didn't provide the link. I am terrible at this. There we go. For Scarred Lands specific things, the spell cards and magic items from Yugman's Guide to Gelspad advanced PDF copies are available for sale this week, usually from Wednesdays. So, if you like Scarred Lands, you don't have them, knock yourself out. Spell cards are always useful. Magic item cards are always useful. I use index cards because I'm broke, but if you can afford the actual cards, they're usually better because my handwriting's terrible. That's it. This show is bi-weekly, so the next stream will be the same time on the 2nd of March. How are we in March already? Or how are we only in March already? And I promise I will finish the Ranger, and I'll do my darndest to get the Rogue finished as well. But I do seem to average like one subclass a stream, apart from where I get stuck. And I think maybe a Psionic Ranger subclass was a bit ambitious in hindsight, and spending all that time trying to figure out the 15th level feature, obviously, it took longer than perhaps it ought. But I'm happy with the scavenging stuff so far. So, swings and roundabouts. I think that's it. Did my social media, did the Twitch exclusivity thing, did the links. That's usually all I have to do. So all that's left for me to say before I do my traditional outro, if you are curious about what else is happening on the channel, you can see the schedule, both graphic and kind of text-based, on the Monday meeting notes. Or if you just stick around for the post-roll, I'll be in chat for a couple of minutes afterwards to answer any more questions. If you stick around for the post-roll, that has loads of sweet promotional images for the various actual plays and other live streams on the channel. I will try to be streaming about half an hour, about half an hour's time on my channel, as I say. And that's it. So if you want to follow me to twitch.tv/ComradeBubbles, there is a channel trailer now, so you can check that out before doing anything, I guess. I finally sorted that out. And hopefully I'll see you around, or talk to you on Discord or Twitter, or maybe back here in the chat room here. But everyone, please do stay safe, stay healthy, and stay wholesome. See ya.